Today, Precarious plays
Chrono Trigger. You strong, Kino weak, Kino jealous.
Oh, you made progress, though.
He unlocked the door for us, though. Alright.
One more thing.
About...
The Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
Two more things. The title is terrible.
Yeah.
I hate the title. It is a production title that inexplicably has been allowed to make it all the way to the front of the box. Oh. Second thing. Just from looking at the demo, I don't... Of all the things that they could have and should have refined and sort of abandoned, the consumable situation doesn't make any sense for the genre they're going for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They should have, because like there are potions and there are ethers already, and they, if I remember correctly, they heal for fixed values. They shouldn't be there anymore. Mm-hmm. It's inappropriate for the genre. Mm-hmm. They should have had just like, so here, Chrono Trigger. In this game, the pre-battle item management is part of the game, you know? Mm-hmm. Like it's part of the game that you want to play, and it is a skill that's being tested. It is the sense of a job well planned, right?
Yeah.
Is that a door straight to the south? Okay.
Yes.
It was cut out a little bit. That's some Indigo Plateau nonsense. That's the exact kind of thing that I was talking about before.
The trained eye.
So it's a job well planned and prepared for, and managing it can be a skill to test. But I feel like if they're going to move into something faster and more action-focused, Devil May Cry doesn't have 3 levels of healing item, you know, that you manage from a menu.
It's a camel.
Yeah, you described it very succinctly as a camel.
I want it to be not a camel.
Well, so here's something that's especially baffling for me. I'm confident that the second episode, the second part of this, will have a ton of tiny improvements. Mm-hmm. Like that. Like maybe they'll think in between releases, wow, man, we really didn't need to put in potions and mid potions and I can't remember what they're usually. I can't remember what the progression usually is, but we didn't need like 3 tiers of potions and 2 tiers of ether and elixirs and the party-wide version of each of those items. We didn't need that, did we? Let's just condense it down to like you are healed to full between battles automatically, and you only find mega elixirs, and it's a full heal for the party. But there are only you only find them very infrequently, right? It's kind of like the med kit system in Mass Effect 2, where it's just one all-important healing item.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the details because it'll make it feel very nitpicky, but my basic problem is there are few things that irritate me more than people not using obvious solutions, like people reinventing the wheel when it's completely not necessary. So yeah, it's that whole problems that are unsolved that should have already been solved because they have been solved.
And they're just refusing to make use of it, or they don't
like,
see the problem with it.
I don't know where all my files are. Why can't I access my files? They're on a different computer. And it's like, use a cloud service. This problem has been solved.
That feels very personal. Is there somebody in your life?
There are many people and situations that is always, they're like, I can't access something. And I'm like, it's not, you know.
You can pay someone to take care of this for you today, right now.
And it's
we can do it. We have the technology.
No, you don't even have to pay for it. Like, free solutions with tutorials. It's great. Anyway, but that's a common problem.
Oh, whoa.
That just happened. How?
But I think it left her with 1 hit point, so you should take care of that quickly. Like do a kiss, yeah,
right away.
And then Chrono should use lightning because it.
How about an Aura Whirl or a Cure?
Probably
what is strongest.
Cure is stronger. Cure on Isla, but Chrono should use lightning because it interferes with Tum's ability to act, I think.
Okay.
Or it makes them vulnerable immediately afterwards. Okay, defense lowered by electric shock, and then I think they recover from it really quickly.
Okay.
So you should make use of it with like a drill kick or something right now.
Okay. Ice sword. There it is.
Yeah.
I forgot. I wasn't paying attention. See, this is why I didn't want to get into this.
I know.
It makes me upset.
Just the most relevant and interesting thing that happens to have happened recently.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't want to discourage anybody who's been waiting this from enjoying what they can from it. So
I kind of do.
I don't. I
sort of do.
want people to have fun with their nice words. I want people to enjoy themselves
with this experience.
With the experience available, because I think that if you were really excited about it, you could find enjoyment in it, like regardless of what I have to say about the problems.
I feel like it crosses a line.
I don't.
I do. I think that it unavoidably, obviously crosses a line, because think about the project isn't done. I feel sorry for the developers that are going to have to spend.
What just happened?
Maybe there are like warp tiles that are invisible?
No! This is what we get. This is what we get for talking about the things. Is this? Okay, wait, but the 2 eggs were still in the same place.
Yeah.
So what if... Okay, I can't go any further there.
But can you get that egg?
I get this egg? Yeah.
It's just a potion. Try and recreate it. Try to go back and... But there's another path to the right. So if you can make it down and then to the right. All the way to the wall.
All the way to the wall.
Can you go from there to the right? No.
This is just worse.
I don't
understand.
Yeah, maybe you can drop down from the floor above.
No. Can't even jump off a cliff here.
I mean, as an event, like as a scripted thing, a scripted interaction you can do later. Oh, I bet there's a point that teleports you to that corner. So just,
meander.
Wander. Try to step on all the tiles, but not the ones you've already stepped on. Try to keep a bit of mental. Do it procedurally. Like, start near the entrance and just weave your way across all the tiles.
Working.
You're not doing it. This is what I mean.
Yeah.
You're not doing it. You're not doing it right.
Sorry, I'm just mad. This is why
so
I
that's
didn't
important
want to talk about
No, that's nonsense. That is utter nonsense. There's no way. Well, I don't want to start talking about the remake because whenever we go to the warping teleporting room,
okay, but what is Thunder
it'll distract me.
Okay, but what is Thunder Chomp? I need to know what is Thunder Chomp. It's
what it says on the box.
I know, but look at it. It's gonna be Thunder Chomp. Yum. We charge up the barbarian and she bites people with electric.
It healed for it. That's the biggest number we've seen in the game, and it was a heal.
It was. It was really good. Cat attack. That sounds promising. Wow. Meow.
Oh, that's the chomping.
Okay.
Good thing enemies can't be overhealed.
See, I just want to talk about delightful things like Thunder Chomp.
So here's the line that I think it crosses. I think that a lot of people are going to be stuck developing a remaster. Like a ton of people. It must take a huge team. I haven't looked, but I mean, it has to take a lot of personnel to make a game look like that.
Yeah, it does look.
And that's what somebodies, a bunch of somebodies are going to be stuck doing. So here's like a tragedy of long form art, like film and video games. Imagine a scenario where you have the opportunity to work on really big projects that take 4 years. Even if you are jumping around between projects, maybe you still only have like a dozen big titles in your professional life.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is going to be divided up into like effectively 3 games, is it fair that maybe a quarter of all of the big projects you're ever going to be able to, you have time to work on professionally, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yeah.
It's going to be a retread. Even if it's the greatest retread of all time, it's going to be old ideas repackaged. And you might spend a huge percentage of your professional life working on what amounts to one, I'm going to go ahead and just say needlessly long project. I don't think it's fair to the developers. I think it's the kind of thing that might one day breed resentment. Because it's like, now that I'm older, boy, do it felt like such an opportunity at the time, but man, do I wish that I hadn't spent my young life copying someone else's work.
Yeah. Well, my entire opinion on it right now is that, like, am I kind of interested that they're making one? Sure, but it's just like every other sequel that I've looked up and been like, oh, they're not going to do it how I want. And then I just stop paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was a real, like, it's not a long demo, but it was a real roller coaster because when I started to see the new interesting controls, I was like, ooh, cool. And then it was just downhill from there. I was like, oh, they're trying to do something that's similar to Mass Effect, which I really enjoyed. This is like the action-y. It's a cross between being thoughtful and strategic and being very, go fight, win, action-oriented, which I was excited about. And then I started seeing how it was actually playing out, and it was seriously disappointing because of other games that I have enjoyed the heck out of.
That try to bridge that same gap.
Yeah, gap's been bridged. Just like, just... I'm sad, and I don't want to...
One of the things that I've seen that bothers me the most, also on the development side, is I can't help... Whenever I see, like, all of these pristine, detailed environments, my I don't want to say first thought, but something I think of pretty quickly is how many Bravely Defaults could this have funded instead?
Yeah.
How many Octopath Travelers could have been made instead of this? I don't think that Square Enix, like, they've always dabbled, well, not always, but they have for a long time had games that are action RPGs in addition to turn-based RPGs. I can't remember the title. It's a game from the PlayStation where, like, you play as, there's a young boy and a young girl, and I think that one of them can transform into monsters. But it was like a smaller title, something of Fate, something of... I'll look it up between episodes. Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Is a clear example.
Yeah, man, like, why? Okay, sorry. It's just... Like I said, some problems have been...
Oh, well, hold on. I should... okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. Just... I feel like Square Enix has lost focus as a developer. I don't feel like they're playing to their strengths anymore. I feel like they're trying to obtain unreasonable goals. I feel like the fact that they have felt it necessary to divide Final Fantasy VII Remake into multiple parts is a failure to design properly. They've just gone so big that they've created a situation where they have to take it out on the creativity of their developers and on the consumer, having to purchase this in episodes. I don't think that having a freely controllable camera is appropriate, and I think that the inability to cull the backs of objects, for example, right? Having a free camera increases the cost of a game dramatically. They could have a game that looks great, that looks just as nice as the remake, but it would be much less expensive. It would take fewer resources if the player wasn't in charge of the camera, because they could emulate that old style with new techniques of the original Final Fantasy VII. That's why at the time, like, there are parts of PlayStation era Final Fantasy games that still look fantastic because of the fixed camera perspective, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the angle you're going to look at this from. We know where your eyes can go. So it's like, we're going to make an incredibly ornate, lovely front of a building. The facade is going to be fantastic. And we can afford to make it that way. It's probably something outside. You should toggle it on. And then just leave. We can afford to make this look exquisite, and it's because we have complete control over the scenario.